Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So in last episode, we did some roster maintenance and unfortunately lost a few players in the process, but I think our team is still very, very solid. As you can see, at least in spring training, we are still ranked as the #1 team, and we have a pretty good looking roster. Of course, obviously, with our pitching rotation getting much better than it has been in former years. So I am going to be leaning heavily on Garth Howe. Also, we're going to be probably using Bobby Hyde as a starter this year just because he almost won the Cy Young out of the bullpen last year. So I think he deserves a chance to be a starter for the season. So that way we have a really good 1-2. And then we have a young guy in Osuna and Gomez who are in the 3 and 4 spot, and Pablo Silva will make up the 5 spot. If any of these guys are struggling, we could always move them over to reliever, and Sparbori could come in as a starter for a little bit just to kind of maybe change things around a little bit. But this is basically what we have our team looking like for the season. I already went ahead and made some roster adjustments, sending players down and all that, which I will get to in a little bit. But before we get into that, I do have a couple comments to go over. So the first one is from my buddy Kevin, who says, "It sucks to see this team not make it all the way to World Series again." And yeah, I totally agree. It really sucks losing 3 straight ALCSs. Like, I thought by now we'd at least get the 1 World Series, but we haven't done that yet. So hopefully this is the year. And finally, the last comment is from Rebecca Weiss-Woods, which says, "I think that you would need to change some starters to relief pitchers as their roles. This will clear up some of the backlog of starters." And I went ahead and did a couple of those. I didn't really do a ton of them. Like, I think I did like 2 or 3. But I'm really not sure on exactly who we should be changing over just yet to relief pitcher. So I did move guys like Darren Poles, who we haven't used in a few years, over to reliever. Also, I moved Brian Morris over to reliever because I don't think he's ever going to be really a starter in the MLB. So I moved him over to relief pitcher. Also, Delmon Rangel, I moved him over to reliever because we have been using him as a reliever down in AAAs, so might as well do that. But on the rest of these guys, I don't know who should be a reliever and who shouldn't be. Like, should we move Sparbori over to reliever? I don't know. Should we move somebody like Francisco Cora, one of those guys? Because there's a lot of guys down there in the minors that are all starting pitchers. So it's like, which one of these guys should be relievers? Which one should be starters? So there is a big log jam, as you can see. And I did also have to make some tough decisions with some players. So example, Carlos Murillo has been waived down to AAA because he was out of options. I just didn't see him as good enough really for this team yet at the moment. Technically, it looks okay on paper, but when I was like basically doing an average overalls of the like hits per 9, Ks and all that thing, he was one of the guys that had the lowest amount. Francisco and Cora and Olinger were much better. Soto was even better. He was like the worst out of the bunch of the starters. So he could be probably a guy that gets moved to relief pitcher if he clears waivers, but I'm not 100% sure if he will. And then also, yeah, Darren Poles was the other guy that was waived, just because I haven't been able to find a home for him on our roster in the last few years. So he has been waived, and I don't think he'll get claimed, but you never really know if he will. But other than that, our roster is pretty much set up. As I was showing you guys, this is the starting pitchers. Here is the relievers, so Sparbori, Birch, Rubel, Robert, Taveras, Guzman, Lake, and Kenny Olinger will be back up here again. He has been an okay reliever, but not the best. But still, it's still not that bad. We could always call up players from the minors halfway through the season, or in the September call-up or whatever, if we want to make roster changes if this team's not doing well enough from the bullpen. But I think this bullpen should be better, hypothetically, than prior seasons, hopefully. So there is that. And then our lineup itself is going to be looking like this for the season. So we got Ozzy, Anton Trevino, we got George Pinheiro, Sixto, Steiner, O'Donnell, Pineda, Groves, and Chu. So a lot of solid talent, hoping that we don't really have any injury troubles this season. And on the bench, we got McMahon, Swain, Halpern, and Brad Thornton. Brad Thornton obviously being a pretty solid power hitter. He will get in as a DH against left-handed pitchers because he does have that good power hitting. So there is a chance for him to get into the lineup. So there is that. That's going to be our team for the season. Excited to see what happens. Hopefully this is the year that our team can take that next step. Obviously, we want to have a good regular season, But obviously, if we don't have as good as last year, it's not a big deal as long as we have a good playoffs ahead of us as well. Because we should be a playoff team with this roster, unless like Ozzy, Sixto, and like Garth Howe all go down with injuries. So let's get into getting through spring training. I'm not going to worry about the contracts till the off season because there is a lot of big contracts up for renewals. So we do not have 4 valid lineups. Oh yeah, that's because of that one lineup we were just seeing. So this one we are looking for, what are we looking for? Right fielders. So let's put in Steiner and swap him and Pineda in positions and swap Steiner with, who is the center fielder? Josh Groves. There you go. Actually, no, not with Josh Groves. Josh Groves swapped with Bill Pineda. That's what I wanted to do. Perfect, because there's not even a no DH lineup anyways, but technically, our most worrying stat is our defense, and our speed has definitely taken a hit since we lost Ollie Gellman in last episode. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us, losing Ollie Gellman, but at the same time, we had to do it. So there's another lineup that needs to be adjusted. Oh, yeah, right here. God damn it. So once again, we're probably looking for an outfielder, so we'll just do that. Swap these guys around, not that it matters too much. Actually, that's right, actually. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. We are ready to sim through spring training. Let's see how good we do. Not that it really matters about spring training. Washington did claim Carlos Murillo. Of course, he goes to a team that Pip was. So we do lose Carlos Murillo, but I think it's okay. I know he could have been something for us, but we have a logjam of pitchers. It makes sense for us to lose a guy eventually. So that kind of sucks. Would you like to withdraw the waiver request now? Oh, I didn't even realize you could do that. I can withdraw the waiver request so that way he doesn't get claimed, but I'm okay with him getting claimed, to be honest, because we got a lot of guys, and I don't think there's really a roster spot for him right now, so I'm not going to do that. And he's already 28 too, so it's not like he's going to develop into being a stud all of a sudden and being like an 80 plus overall. And there's a very solid spring training, 16 and 11. 16 and 11. I want to take a look at some of the stats from there, so yeah, Bobby Hyde's ready to be that starter, I think, for sure. Pablo Silva had a good spring training, which is a great sign. Sparbori was good out of the bullpen. Yeah. Yep, this is the team. This is the team. Okay, let's continue to sim to the regular season, and we'll get some scouting done. We have a lot of work to do scouting-wise because I think our main priorities are third base, probably outfields, and then also closing pitchers because we do not have really much closing pitchers at the moment. Also relievers would be good too, but there is that. So let's go a few days and then we should be able to start scouting out the upcoming draft class, and hopefully it's a good class. Hopefully we could find somebody good late in the first round because obviously we won't have an early pick in this draft. Let's go auto fix rotation for AAA, and we win 2 of our first 3 games. 2 of them were dominant victories and 1 was a dominant loss. And Bobby Hyde was the guy that was pitching that game, but he wasn't the main reason we lost that game, I guess. Okay, so 2-1, we should be able to start scouting. So let's take a look at what this class is looking like. We still have our normal scouts, so that's good. We will probably set up a general scout for closing pitchers almost, because there should be a good amount of closing pitchers. Oh my goodness, this guy might be a really high overall as a starting pitcher out of the gate. He might be an insanely good player at 23, but do I really need to scout out starting pitchers? Like, I have so much of them. Yeah, that guy might be actually really good. I might want to scout out that guy. But we do need to scout out closing pitchers, so we will get this scout, the one that's the best with the pitchers, which is this guy. We'll get him to scout out closing pitchers in each division for 4 weeks at a time instead of starting pitchers, so that way we can find the best closer possible for us, because I think we need to have one of those. That's a very important thing for us. It's not the top priority necessarily, but this guy's not good with positional players, so he won't be the guy that's looking at third base. Let's go scout prospect. Let's see what we got for third baseman here. Let's get Cabrera scouted out. We'll get every single third base that we can scouted out with Gomez. And then Gary Hagen will also be looking at he'll be looking at pitchers as well, probably. Yeah, he'll be a generic pitcher guy that looks at any good pitchers, starting pitchers, relief pitchers, closing pitchers, and then the other guy would be third baseman and outfield, I think. So, yeah, let's get Vasquez scouted out and see if he's actually that good. Not that we're going to be able to probably get him with our pick because we are drafting quite late. So, and we only have 6.75 in allotment money, so we got to keep note of that as well. Let's go a week and see how we do. Oh my, it's only 1 to 2 weeks. That's not bad. Let's just go keep active, but damn, that sucks for Gary Steiner. And we win every game that week. We are 8-1 to start the season. So much for regressing after losing Gelman, huh? We are off to a flying start. A flying start. How long until Steiner is back? He should be back soon, right? Yeah, 1 to 6 weeks with a head contusion. Ow. Doesn't sound nice. And yeah, Vasquez is going to be really solid. Vasquez is going to be really solid. Very high bonus demand, though, so we won't be able to sign him if we were able to even get him. But I doubt it. But yeah, this guy's going to be an insanely good player out of the draft. High 70s with an 89, 84 potential. That's pretty solid. I guess I shouldn't probably scout players that are very early on in a draft necessarily. But, oh well. Let's see what else we got here. There is a center fielder. We should probably look for guys that are supposed to maybe go around our spot just to play it safe. Yeah, let's see. Do we got any third baseman around here? Let's actually just go third base in general or outfielders. This guy might be around our points, so let's get a couple of these guys scouted out. Rod Smith, why not? Let's go another week and see if we continue this winning streak. No, we can't. We lose 2 straight games. And let's go place on bench for a second and put Steiner back into the lineup because he should be ready to go. Which means, who was it that was out? Who was it that was out? Oh, it was Ray. Yeah, it's Ray. Gary Steiner comes back in. There we go. Perfect. Actually, I should probably adjust the left-handed one as well. While we're at it, let's see. Where are you? Steiner needs to go in, and it was McMahon, but next time it's not McMahon here. This time around, it was Josh Groves, I think. I'm not 100% sure with that, but it doesn't really matter too much. Let's go another few days. There we go. Nice 4-game winning streak after losing 2 in a row. We are 12-3 on the season. Jesus. Yeah, this team might end up outperforming last year's team, which would be kind of crazy if that actually happens. So Cabrera is actually pretty solid. Yeah, Cabrera might be one of those guys I look at. He's not going to have maybe a high overall, though, is the only problem, but he's going to be a high potential player. So Cabrera is right now up there on my list. We are going to change him out for another third baseman if there is one that is intriguing. Let's go with John Bryant. And then we'll go with Humberto Torres. I don't know if there's going to be a good third baseman in this draft, though, like really good out of the draft. I think we might have to like grab just one in a later round or something like that. We'll also look at some outfielders here shortly. Yeah, we are dominating this season so far. Holy crap, 16-5. We are still the best team in our division. The Angels are not in the playoff spot with Ollie still. Our defense fell off to 19th, which is not great. And our speed fell to 13th. Huh. I wonder how good our player stats are looking right now. I'm not going to do that till the end of this episode, but let's change our scouts thing over to Central now that we're in week 4. Yeah, I'm not really sold on some of these third basemen. Rod Smith is okay. He actually might be a high overall, though, is a good thing. Like, he might be a third baseman, kind of like Ozzy in a sense, where Ozzy was a high overall out of the draft, not high potential, but became something decent. Yeah, I do like Rod Smith, kind of. Because that power hitting and contact is not really that bad looking like. So, Rod Smith might be an okay pick. He might be an okay pick. Let's see if there's any other third baseman worth scouting out here. And then we might change over to outfielders already. Let's see. Such a wide margin with some of these guys. Let's go with Danny Stone for third base. Why not? See if the Stone kid rock our socks. Another week. And we are not looking at trades. No idea. 21-6. Yeah, well, this team is absolutely killing it right now. I don't know if we're on pace for a better season this year than last year, but we are doing really, really well. We are definitely still falling off on our defensive rating, which is not ideal, but we're winning games, so that's good. But I don't know if that will make any difference. Danny Stone's not really that great. He's going to be maybe a high overall with good contact, but low potential. He might be also like an Aussie in that type of idea. Huh. Let's change you out. Let's see if there's any good outfielders to scout out. Yes, probably there is. So let's go with Jake Irving. Get him scouted out. See what we could do during this stretch. There's 3 more wins. See, we've only lost like only a couple games a week. There's 3 losses actually this week because we lost back-to-back. Houston's a good team too. They are 22-11, which is kind of scary because I believe they still have William Montero. Huh, interesting. So John Bryant is pretty solid. He's pretty solid, not the best, but he's going to have good power hitting against lefties. He might have a high potential, but I don't know if he is going to be that good. Our scouts have him at number 5 right now, which is intriguing to say the least. Let's change this to another outfielder as well because we got to scout out some of these guys. Richard Conley. Is there anybody that's really looking good? Maybe Justin Ness. Yeah, let's get Justin Ness scouted out. I know he's supposed to go early in the draft, so he probably will go before our pick, but might as well take a look and see if he's actually that good. Or if he's a player that could slide in the draft. 27-12. So we're starting to lose a little bit more games. 6 games of our last like 2 weeks. But we are still in first place. Up 3 games on the Astros. So that is good. Let's go to scouting out here. See what we're looking like. Jake Irving is looking pretty solid. Not the best hitter. Very solid defensive outfielder though. Actually very good outfielder in terms of defensive play in the future it looks like. But in terms of his contact hitting, his power hitting, that's going to need major work. So I'm not really too sold on him, but that's not bad if we want a really good defensive guy. Let's see what else we got here. Anybody else we're scouting out? Maybe Eddie Palmeiro. Let's get him scouted out. Yeah, Ness is actually looking pretty solid right now, but he might be still low overall. We got 1 more week left on closing pitchers on that part. I could scout out more starters, but it's honestly pointless, I feel like, because we got so much of them. So there's a very good week. 5-1 that week. We are still first place. 6 games up on the Astros. Jeez. Yeah, we're absolutely cruising this year. I love it. Hopefully this maintains course in the playoffs, though, because we should be a playoff team at this rate. Justin Ness is, yeah, really solid. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a high-up pick this year, I think. Let's change him out for another outfielder if there is one that's intriguing to me. Maybe Peter Shabazin. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. Let's get the 23-year-old scouted out. Might as well. And then we'll also get Sam Lentz scouted out. And let's change this guy over to the East and continue scouting out this class. I don't know if it's going to be the most insane class, but hopefully we could help ourselves out here. Let's just go keep active on Aussie. And now he's back, so let's go place on bench for a second, because I don't know if it's going to put him right back where he was supposed to be before. There we go. Let's get him back in instead of Bobby Swain. I don't want to take a look at player stats yet, so that's why I'm trying to go through this fast, because I do not want to see how good players are doing. You guys probably can, but I am just not paying attention to that. And wow, what a really good week there. We only lost 1 game again, so 37-14. We're 6.5 games up on the Astros. We are absolutely cruising. Absolutely cruising. I hope our pitching is improving. Eddie Palmeiro is looking actually pretty solid. Like, if I was to draft an outfielder, he might be decent. He's more of a speed steal threat, and with okay contact hitting, I'm not really fully sold on him, but he might have a high ceiling, which is nice. Javier Pena is looking really good. Javier Pena might be a high overall at a draft, with a okay potential too. The only problem is he's supposed to go way before our picks, so there is a good chance we do not get him. Let's see what else we got here. We were going to look at Sam Lentz next, so let's do that. Yeah, I think this class is looking okay so far, and I hope that we could find stuff in the areas we need. There's 3 straight losses. That's not ideal, but I guess the game needs to kind of rework us a little bit, make us not too dominant. Yeah, only 2 wins that week. We are now only 4 games up on the Astros, but still 39-19. I guess we are just too dominant for this game at that moment. Yeah, Pena's looking pretty good. He's actually looking fantastic. I hope that he somehow falls to us, but I don't think he will. Because him being 23 already, he could just jump into our lineup almost instantly. Or within a year. He's got great contact, great power. At least against righties, solid power against lefties. Vision and discipline might need a bit of work, but other than that, this guy's a very good hitting guy. So if he somehow fell to us, I would be pretty happy with that, considering we need an outfielders. But if he doesn't, so be it. Let's see what else we got here. Anybody else we're scouting out, maybe? Ooh. Armando Fernandez and Tommy Yu might be intriguing. Let's get them scouted out. I think we're going to find ourselves something decent in this year's draft. I think. I could be wrong with that, though. And we win almost every game that week, so good rebound. Let's go. 45-20. Yeah, this team's definitely going to be making it to the playoffs, I think, at this rate. For sure. Sam Lentz is looking actually pretty solid, too. Sam Lentz might be one of my picks, for sure. He's actually not supposed to go till late, too. So I hope he doesn't, because he's probably going to have a high overall out of the draft and a decent potential. He might honestly be like Ozzy as well, in that sense. The only thing is his interest is low, but if we could get that interest meter high, he should be an easy signing. So Sam Lentz is looking okay. There might be actually some okay right fielders. We might as well get Tyler Ball scouted out as well, because he might be a 99 potential guy. So we'll do that. And after this week, we'll change the pitcher scout, even though I think it's a bit early. Ooh, 4 straight losses there. Yeah, we're definitely having a little bit of a struggle in this last few weeks or so, but that's okay. We're still winning games. Fernandez isn't looking that great. He looks like he might be a higher overall than his potential, which is not ideal, but we'll keep him scouted out for now. And let's change you over to international for the last 2 weeks or last 3 weeks or something like that. And yeah, we're almost near the end of scouting out this class a little bit. Ooh, Juan de la Silva got injured for 2 to 3 months. At least it's only a prospect. And Pineda has suffered an injury. It's only day to day. Let's go keep active for now. Let's go auto fix that lineup. And let's go place on bench for a second and make sure Pineda is in his right spot. Let's see, where are you, Pineda? There you are. We need you where Josh Groves was, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it was where Josh Groves was. I could be completely wrong with that, but as long as Pineda gets back in the lineup, that is okay with me. Let's see. Where is Groves again? Or am I just completely blind? Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's on right field spot there. There we go. Perfect. Bill Pineda's back in. 50-25 so far. We are cruising. And yeah, we're still basically 2 wins for every loss at the moment. And we're still 5 games up on the Astros. We'll go 1 more week likely in this episode. Yeah, Fernandez is not great. He is a good contact hitter, but he's going to be probably a very low potential player, but low overall, or high overall, maybe. Good speed, good stealing. He might be an okay late round pick just to get somebody with a decent overall, but I don't really know if he's going to be that great, to be honest. Like, he might be a 69 with 71 potential or something like that. So he's definitely not worth an early pick for sure. Let's get some other guys scouted out that aren't like in the positions we're looking for. So let's just take a look at each position here. Let's actually look at relievers too. Let's get some relievers scouted out actually with these guys. Yeah, might as well. Might as well see what these relievers are looking like, because some of them look like they could be decent and we could always use some relief pitchers. So, and we will change. Actually, this guy will stay at international for the last week or so. We'll do 1 more week here of simulation. And then obviously next episode, if there's anybody you want me to scout out further, I could scout them out as well a little bit longer. And there's a pretty solid week again, only one loss. We are 56-27 at pretty much around the halfway point of the season. Let's take a look at those guys. So actually, let me remove all these scouting assignments and show you guys what we've scouted out to this point. And then we'll take a look at player stats so far for the season. So let's see what we've scouted out so far up to this point. So this is our team rank. We'll look at our team rank maybe, or do we just want to look at recently scouted? Let's just look at team rank. Actually, not team rank. Let's just go all prospects and see what we got here. So we're not going to probably be able to get some of these guys, but we have like Cabrera, who looks like he's going to be a pretty solid third baseman. Actually, let's go each position, make it a little bit easier. So Vasquez, this guy's probably going to be a very high up pick. I don't think we're going to be able to get him, but I don't really need starting pitchers anyways. He was the only starter we scouted out a bit, so nobody else is scouted out. But if you see anybody worth scouting out longer, well, let me know for the final week. We head to relief pitcher wise. Let's see. Those guys that we were scouting out so far, David Julio is looking okay, maybe, but he's probably not going to be a 91 potential reliever. I don't think so, at least. And then you have Hiroshi Yoshida. Should I continue scouting those guys out longer? That's my question to you guys. Closing pitcher-wise, we definitely looked at a lot of these guys, and we are probably going to be drafting, I'd say, one of them, maybe with our first-round pick or second round if we can. Dennis Blank, Charles Brown. There's also Casero. Most of these guys aren't fully scouted out, but if you guys think anybody's worth scouting out longer or drafting with our pick, maybe we'll look at taking a closer this year in the first round, because we could definitely use one. Especially with Dennis Lake not performing as well as he should be. Some of these guys were not even supposed to go drafted, but we found some pretty solid ones, it looks like. Yeah, like this guy might have a high potential, but he's going to be a very low overall at 22, so I don't know about that guy, but we'll just skim through the rest of this, maybe, unless they have high potentials, maybe. Tom Mora's looking actually pretty good. Yeah, he's actually looking pretty good, but he's only 54% scouted. So got to keep that of note. Mark Lopez, he was not supposed to get drafted, but he might be a very good, he might be a really high potential. He is going to be probably a high potential, but he's going to be a very low overall for a 21-year-old. That's the only problem. But he would be good. He'd be very good for a late pick, for sure. Let me just scroll through the rest of this, because we got so much. Yeah, well, that was the beginning of the next round again. Okay, let's go to the other guys here. We didn't scout out any catchers, but if there's anybody you guys wanted me to scout out, let me know. So there is the catcher pool. This guy might be intriguing for a late round pick. I don't know. First baseman wise, we didn't really scout out anybody here either, but I'll still scroll through this a little bit. Second baseman wise, we didn't scout out any second baseman. We probably could have scouted out some second basemen because a lot of them could play third. So third, though, this is where we scouted out a decent amount. So Willie Cabrera, I don't know if he's worth our pick probably in the first round. It looks solid. There's also John Bryant. More of a power hitter against lefties, but that's pretty much it. Good fielding, too. Rod Smith, he was kind of intriguing to me, but I don't know if we'd be able to get him. He'd have to be like a second rounder. He's not worth probably a first round pick. I don't know. Danny Stone is solid, too, but he's probably a late pick. I'd say like a third, fourth round pick. And that's all we had for third baseman scouted out. Shortstop wise, we didn't scout out any shortstops, but maybe we should have done that as well because some of them can play third base. So if there's anybody worth noting, let me know. We head to left field. Jake Irving is not a great offensive threat, but he's a great defensive outfielder. If we want to get a defensive guy for the outfield to make us a better defensive team in the future. Center fielding wise, obviously we're probably not going to be able to get Ness because he's supposed to go early on, but he's more of a defensive guy too. Eddie Palmeiro, also kind of more defensively minded. And then we didn't really scout out any other center fielders. Seemed like there was a lot of good right fielders though. This is where they're probably the most strong. So Javier Pena looks like he's going to be really solid, but I don't know if he's going to fall to us or not. There's also Sam Lentz, who's looking pretty good too, and he's younger. You also have Tyler Ball, who's looking like a power speed threat. Pretty much it. There's also Armando Fernandez, who's looking like pretty solid, but he's probably not going to have a high potential. So that is the draft class in a nutshell. If you guys think there's anybody worth scouting longer, like I said multiple times already, let me know, because I will scout them out in the last week of scouting. Final things that we need to check. Let's take a look at how we are doing in terms of like the standings and how some of our players are doing at this point in the season. So we are currently obviously the best team in our division. Are we the best team in baseball again? We're 2 wins up on the Pirates right now, who have 54 wins, but they have 30 losses. Yeah, we are the best team in baseball. We are the best team again. Let's go. We've scored 468 runs, only allowed 349, which I don't know where that has us, but we might be actually a pretty good defensive team right now. Our team is batting at 290 combined with a 485 slugging, 369 on base percentage, and 991 fielding percentage, and a 3.82 ERA. That might be our best ERA in quite some time. So that's really good to see. It is still a little bit higher up in the threes, but it's still pretty good. Let's take a look at what has been going on with this team so far. Well, Garth Howe has 10 wins up to this point. He's been great. Good ERA, good whip. He might be up there potentially for a Cy Young this year. Not too sure on that. Bobby Hyde has been struggling as a starter. Do we move him back to reliever? Only 4 quality starts, but a very good FIP. That's a bit of a weird one. We could always put Sparborian back as a starter, move Bobby Hyde back as into the main reliever, but he's not doing too well, I'd say. Osuna's also kind of struggling a bit, but he probably has a good FIP. He's up to an 89 overall, my God. Yeah, he's got a good FIP. He's got 12 quality starts, so he's actually been better than it looks. Sammy has been really good too. Sammy has been good. 16 games started, 12 quality starts. So we're getting good results from most of our pitching right now. And yeah, Pablo Silva's also on 10 wins. Also up to an 89. 16 games started, 8 quality starts. That's not bad, 50%. And in our relievers, Barbori's won 7 games out of the bullpen. So Sparbori's doing exactly what Bobby Hyde was doing, apparently. But with a worse ERA and worse whip, I think. Has he actually been that good, though? He's won every game he's played. Yeah, he's been good. So Sparbori might be better as a reliever. Jack Birch has been also really good. Kenny Oliger's been solid. Doug Rubel's been insanely good. Insanely good. He hasn't pitched... Actually, he's pitched a lot of innings for that ERA. That's good. Ken Roberts been really good. Pete Tavares has been terrible. He's only pitched 2 innings, though. He's not getting a lot of playing time. And then Luis Guzman has been really good as a setup guy. Dennis Lake has been terrible as a closer. Oh, my. I mean, he has 24 saves, but he has not had a good time. Dennis is starting to blow games in the regular season, too. Maybe we swap him and Guzman in next episode as who's the starter and who's the setup guy. Or the closer and the setup guy. So let me know on that front. But other than that, pitching has been pretty good. Pretty good. Lineup-wise, Ozzy has been not very good. Not very good. He's regressing. Yeah, his lowest average in quite some time. I mean, he had the same thing last season and he took off in the second half. But he has not been great, which is not ideal with the price point. Trevino has been pretty damn good. I like that. Pinheiro has been really good. 300 average. Sixto has been phenomenal. At 338 this year. Jeez. That's like tied for a career high. Steiner's batting at 331. Oh my God. Steiner's a pending free agent too. So some of these guys are going to definitely be leaving the team this year. O'Donnell's batting at 335. These 3 guys are batting all in the 330s. God damn. Ray McMahon's got a 302. Pineda's got a 269. And Michael Chu's got a 244. So Ozzy's been one of our worst players. Maybe it's because he's the leadoff guy. So I'm going to swap him and Pinheiro around. See if that helps things out a bit. But yeah, that's pretty damn solid. Swain off the bench hasn't been great, but he's got some home runs. Halpern's been okay. Yeah, we're getting some hits from our guys on the bench, especially Josh Groves, who's batting at 302. So a lot of players on our team batting above 300. We have 1, We have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Groves. And then we have a bunch of guys in like the 280 range as well. 260 to 280. Yeah, this team is a big threat right now. We should be the best offensive team in the league at the moment, right? 468. Actually, let me just go to this team stats right now. Yeah, we're the best team in batting average by far. We're first in runs by 28 runs. First in hits by almost 30 hits. First in doubles. Second in triples. Third in home runs. First in RBIs. Stolen bases, we fell off a bit, but that's okay. 11th. First on walks. Slugging percentage is number 1. Where are we in ERA? I'm curious on that at this point. ERA-wise, we are the 6th best team in pitching. We're literally good in everything. Let's go. This is good. The best team, though, in pitching is the Brewers, who have been drafting some pretty solid pitchers, so that makes sense. Pittsburgh is number 2, and they are also up there with us in the standings, so that's a bit scary. Let's go to our final thing, which is league leaders for now as well. We have 3 guys up there in the top 5 in batting average at the moment. Bill's leading the league in hits at the moment. Jeez. Yeah, we're off to a great start. And I don't know if there's anything we need to do to change, but if there is, that'd be good. Josh Groves has stolen almost the most bases, and he's used more as a bench guy. Just kind of nuts. Maybe he wasn't being used as a bench guy, and I accidentally took him out. We have 3 guys all tied up there almost in wins. Sparbury has the least losses. Yeah, this has been a great season so far. I don't know if our win percentage is better than last year. I think it might be. Garth Howe is up there probably for Cy Young. Ronald Medina might win it, though, at this point. Sixto, O'Donnell, Steiner, and Pinheiro all up there trying to get a batting title. Ollie Gelman's up there, too, which is actually kind of cool. But he's on the Angels now. What could have been if we would have had him? He's doing actually relatively well with the Angels. But obviously we couldn't really hold on to him with the cap and all that. So there's that. And I think that is it. Yeah, I think we're doing better than last year, because last year I think we had a 66% win percentage. Now we're at a 675. We got to obviously keep that momentum going, but everything's looking pretty good so far this year for the Vancouver Reign. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Reign Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the draft. We'll add some more prospects into our system to hopefully give us some players at the spots we need in the future. And yeah, we'll continue simulating the rest of the season, the episode after that. And hopefully we'll be a good playoff team, and hopefully we can make it past the ALCS this season. So anything down below? And I'll see you guys next time.